You're watching House Call. A child with autism's wild tantrums were driving his parents apart. All the while, little Rupert Isaacson was becoming unreachable, as they described it. His parents feared that there was nothing they could do until their son met a horse named Betsy. Take a look.
When Rowan got up on Betsy with me, he began to talk, to let me into his world. So we began to ride every day together, and he began to talk more and more. And I thought, you know, have I got it all wrong? Does autism have to mean the end of everything? I mean, when the diagnosis first came, it was as if our entire world had shut down. But was I looking at it the wrong way around? Could this not be the gateway to adventure?
You know, this is a topic that we cover a lot at House Call. We're going to stay on top of this topic. Rowan's father, Rupert Isaacson, joins us from our studios in New York. He's the author of The Horseback. It's a book about his son Rowan's autism. He's also produced a documentary about Rowan as well. Rupert, welcome to House Call.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, sure. You know, it's a topic that we have thought a lot about here on House Call. One of the things at the end of that clip there, you talked about this great adventure that you and your son were embarking on. What was the adventure?
Well, the adventure, it seems a little mad, but we ended up going to Mongolia, traveling on horseback from traditional healer to traditional healer, really consulting with them about his autism and seeing what would happen.
Going back to when he first met Betsy, what happened specifically, and what do you think was happening to him in his mind or in his overall emotional state?
Well, it's a good question, because remember, you're very much from the outside looking in, so I can only conjecture. Right. But I used to train horses for a living, and what Betsy did was she lowered her head to him in this very submissive gesture, which as a horse trainer you learn to recognize. I'd never seen a horse spontaneously do this to a human before, and I realized that they had some kind of direct connection. Initially, I came to the wrong conclusion and thought, oh, he's got the horse gene, he's like me, but I'll never share it with him because of his autism. Turned out I was completely wrong.
You know, it's interesting. I've done a little bit of research on autism as well, and I know you've made this documentary film. Do you think that there's something about other animals as well, or is it horses in particular, or what did you learn?
Well, a lot of kids on the autism spectrum seem to suffer from an overactive neurology. The nervous system is overstimulated, and so being in nature and around animals often seems to help them calm down. And when they have difficulty communicating, particularly verbally, it often seems that if you use the animal as an intermediary, it can help them then go on to communicate directly with humans. But horses do seem to have a particular thing, and apparently some science has been done on this. Apparently any repetitive rocking motion where you constantly have to find and re-find your own balance opens up the learning receptors of the brain. And I recently found out also apparently it also causes the body to produce oxytocin, which is the feel-good hormone. So I think if you combine all those things together, plus just how cool it is to be on the back of a horse, right, you've got a potent cocktail for a child to be in an intrinsically motivated learning environment. The
idea that he still has autism, right? I mean,
yes, he's still autistic.
These wild tantrums have diminished significantly?
But more than that. I mean, this was what I wasn't prepared for. If all that had happened when we went to Mongolia is we'd come back and said, hey, listen, he wasn't really that changed, but at least autism doesn't have to stop you having an amazing adventure as a family like this. In a way, that would have been something quite valid. But the fact is, he went out there with these 3 terrible dysfunctions. He was incontinent, he tantrumed all the time because of this overstimulated neurology, and he was cut off from his peers. He came back 3 weeks later, toilet trained, no longer tantruming, and having made his first friend, a kid called Tomo, who traveled with us, and then came back to make a whole circle of friends when he got home. It's almost like now his autism is more like a quirk, a charming quirk, than this sort of severe dysfunction that it was before.
Well, I wish him the best of luck, and I wish you the best of luck as well. I'm looking forward to watching the entire documentary, and I hope this is beneficial to a lot of families out there. Rupert, thanks so much.
Thank you. It's been a great honor.
Absolutely. And we talk with some specialists who say that horse riding can be effective in gaining access to children with autism. They call it hippotherapy, and it's a medical treatment that uses horses and is supervised by a licensed speech-language pathologist. Now, specifically, it's been shown to increase verbal communication skills in some children in as little as 18 to 25 minutes of riding once a week for 8 weeks. So that may be some benefit to you.